Hi, if this is your first time of following me or probably seeing one of my videos, I want to urge you to stay tuned because you have a whole lot of things that you're going to grasp from this particular video, alright? And our topic for today is decision making skills in parenting. I know you might be wondering why decision making. It's because I know a whole lot of parents out there who go about carrying out or doing a lot of things without even, you know, considering it properly, whether it's going to affect their home or their parenting life negatively or probably positively. So that is why I had to bring the decision making skills in parenting to you so that after this video, I promise you are going to learn a lot of things. All right, so let's dive in. Like I always tell you, well, parenting is one of the most important responsibility in life, and every day comes with decision, be it big decision or small one. From what a child eats, to discipline, to education, to their friendships and values. Let me tell you, parents are constantly making choices that shapes their child's future. Good decision making skill help parents raise confident, responsible and emotional balanced children. I know you must be wondering, is this actually possible or can this be achieved? Of course, so long as you put your mind to it to always make decisions before taking every of your actions when you're taking care of your children. That is what matters. Okay, because in everything the best thing is just for you as a parent to take that action that will favor your child the most. All right, that is what makes you a good parent. All right, for you to consider, or let's say reconsider things, all right, analyze things before taking actions so that you understand or probably you know if that is actually going to affect your child negatively or even positively. All right, so now, what is this decision making in parenting? I'll tell you that decision making in parenting is the ability to choose the best course of action for your child's well-being. It can be in terms of growth or better still their development. All right, this decision making, I'm telling you, involves when it comes to you thinking carefully before acting, considering consequences, and also balancing your emotions with logic. Okay, it also entails you acting in the child's best interest. Okay, because I know a lot of you will be like, is this possible? Yes, of course it is, and it's important you do so. Okay, because one of the reasons why decision making skills are important in parenting is because one, it shapes a child's future. Mind you, every decision you make contributes to your child's character, behavior, and life directions. It helps to direct your child, all right, as the child's grow, because you've actually inculcated a lot of things. Those things that you keep telling your children, those things, those ethics, the do's and don'ts, you keep teaching your children, those rights, good manners you keep teaching your children will help to shape their future, and also it will help to direct their life. All right, number two, why decision making skills are important in parenting is because it builds trust and security. Believe me when I say consistent and thoughtful decision making makes children feel safe and secure. Yes, because you are that parent that you always think things through before taking a decision. It makes your children to feel safe around you. You might not know, or maybe probably it might sound so awkward to you, but that is actually the fact. All right, so, and the number three reason why decision making skills are important in parenting is because it teaches children how to decide. Because you are that parents that always decide before making any decision in in anything regarding to your parenting journey, your children will also learn from you, because they will know that it's important they try to analyze things before taking action. They don't just bump into things, try to take irrational decisions, and without considering the effects of those their actions. All right, so that is why I said it teaches children how to decide. Okay, and mind you, your children learn by watching you. Okay, your choices becomes their example. That's why they will come out and they say, oh, my mom is my role model. I love what my mom do. Okay, whenever they want to do something, they say, remember, there are some parents that when they are teaching their children, they'll say, don't do what I cannot do, I, your parents, will not do. Okay, don't hurt people. So whenever a child wants to do something, the child will say, if it's to be my mom will make this particular, we prefer this over this. Okay, so I want to make the right choices, as well as the same way my parents does. Okay, so these are why one of the reasons why decision making in parenting is important. And the number 4 is that it prevents regret and harm. Yes, this is one of the saddest aspects of it, because a lot of people, you just take rational decisions, you don't consider the effects, and at the end of the day it bounces back on you, and you begin to wonder, where did I went wrong? What happened? What transpired? Didn't I think things through? Didn't I go through this document? Didn't I go through this document before signing it? Didn't I check this family properly before I hand over my children to, I permitted my children to go and stay with them? Didn't I, like a lot of things? Okay, it prevents you. Decision making will prevent you from harm and regret, because it will make you, it will build you as a parent, and also help you in guiding you the right path to follow and the right decision to make. All right, so this is actually the fact, because I know you might be kind of not be wondering, or maybe thinking, can you actualize these things? Yes, decision making is a kind of a norm. Every parent should make it a habit. Okay, make it a habit to think things through before venturing, or maybe concluding on a particular thing. Okay, so before, lest I forgot, there are key decision making skills every parent needs to have, because it's important you have this as a parent, because these are the things that will help guide you and also build you. One of the key decision making skills every parent needs to have is patience. Yes, it's important you have patience in you, because it helps you to avoid making mistakes, or probably it helps you in decision making, in the sense that it will help you to avoid making decision in anger or frustrations. Okay, because you are this kind of a patient person, it will calm your thinking, leads you to better outcomes. All right, whenever you want to make a decision, if you happen to be angry at that particular time, it will, because you already have this patience inculcated in you, you will always you will always have this strive to always calm yourself before making any decision. You will always remember that it's better for you to be calm when thinking, because it will lead to a better outcome. All right, so the number 2 key decision making skills every parent needs is critical thinking. All right, ask yourself, like, what is the real issue? When some things arises, let's say there's a particular conflict between your child and maybe another, one of the things you should ask yourself is, what is the real issue? What or probably when you want to make the decision, ask yourself, what is the possible outcome? This decision I want to take now, it's true that I want to take this decision, but is it actually going to, what would be the outcome? Will it be a positive one or will it be a negative outcome? Okay, these things, because you are thinking things through at this particular time. That is why another thing you should also do is ask yourself, what is best for my child in the long term? Critical thinking will help you to analyze things perfectly, because one, like I said, it will help you to ask yourself, what is the real issue? You ask yourself, what is the possible best outcome? What is best for my child in the long run? Okay, these are the things, key decision making skills that you have will help you to achieve in future. All right, another key decision skills every parent needs to have is consistency. This one, it implies in every of your parenting stage, from the day you give birth to your child. When they say, oh, feed your child at this particular time, always breastfeed, that is when it starts. That is when your consistency should begin. All right, whatever you have to impart in your child's life, because obviously it should be the positive impact that you have to impart in your child's life. So whatever you are imparting in your child's life, you have to be consistent with it. You have to be consistent with your teachings, okay, so that it can be able to stick with your child. Children learn. Consistency helps them to retain those teachings of yours. All right, so consistency is one of the key decision making skills every parent needs to have, okay, because children thrive on routines and predictable response. All right, and number 4 key decision making skills every parent needs to have is emotional control. I know, right? I know what you're thinking. Emotional control, this is very vital. Every parent needs to have this, okay, because it will help you, it will guide you in so many things. Okay, do not let your emotions override good judgment. And as well as when you're teaching your children, help them to understand this, teach them these things. This emotional control is not just you need to have it as a parent in order for you to also know what to impart in your child's life. And when you're teaching your children about emotional control, you also have to be specific, help them understand why they need to be emotionally controlled, why they need to control their emotions. All right, so that's that aside. Another key decision making skill a parent should always have is flexibility. Okay, so when I talk about flexibility, every child is different. Be willing to adjust your decision when necessary. I know there are things you do. Let's say you have a normal child at home, and there are things that you allow the child to do, but unfortunately for you, let's not use the negative aspect of it. Let's be positive. Let's say you have your first child and there are rules that you've set already, and you said, oh, I don't want you to litter the whole place, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to be crawling on the floor. Better still, you already know that possibly you've noticed that your child is no longer crawling, can no longer lead to the place, or probably you know that somehow your child needs to. We want your child to be optimistic when doing a lot of things, and that child has been carrying on with following the rules and the regulations of at home, and now you have a little one. That one is area scattered. That one literally scatters everything, because the child probably may be crawling. The child maybe loves to play more than your first child. You don't need to go about shouting, yelling, trying to scold and all of that. No, you have to adjust when it comes to your patience, when it comes to the way you tolerate. Okay, you have to adjust. You have to be flexible in this parenting aspect, in this particular aspect, because you have to understand that this one is grown and this one is not grown like your first child. So you have to understand that there is a possibility for this little one, your toddler, to know little things everywhere. Okay, so if you are scolding your let's say your 5 year or probably your 4 year old child, sorry, your 10 year old child, from littering the house, you are not going to scold that 2 year, 1 year, 3 years from littering the house. Okay, so you have to be flexible. Okay, understand their age differences, understand that you need to go about disciplining them based on their age appropriate. Okay, they are two different persons, two different age. All right, be you don't need to be angry unnecessarily, so try to be adjust in some certain things. All right. Okay, so that is basically the key decision making skills every parent needs to have. So let's dive into the steps to effective decision making in parenting. Remember, effective decision making in parenting. The number one step is you understanding the situation. As a parent, always listen to your child and observe carefully. Okay, and step two is gather information. Sorry, let me explain step one properly. Understand the situation. Here, all you need to do is, when your two children are crying, dragging toys, all you need to do, understand what is the cause of this scream. Why are the both of them screaming? Oh, probably they are dragging their toys. That is the cause of action. Okay, so with that, it will help you observe carefully. It will help you to understand the situation and know how to go about it. Okay, you don't just see two children dragging toys and you started scolding one person or the other. No, understand what is the cause of action, understand the situation they are in. Possibly both of them want toy, and all you needed to do was, since the both of them need to play with them, then find a way to help them. And that's the only way you can do it is by you helping them to understand that it's good for one to share with another. Okay, they are siblings, so they always need to share. It's good for them to share their toys with their siblings. Okay, so that is for you understanding the situation as a parent. And another step to effective decision making in parenting is also you. Number two step is gather information. Okay, some parents when they see their children fighting, they start scolding the elder ones, or probably they'll start scolding the younger one, and they didn't even know what's transpired. Always try to gather information, because when you know the facts, it will help you to know how to react. Okay, always know the cause of action, what happened. Okay, so when you know what happened, then you know the right person to discipline, how to go about it. That is basically what it is. All right, so the number three step to effective decision making in parenting is consider options. Think of different ways to handle the situation. Okay, don't just, this one said, this one insulted the other one, you started spanking. No, you can give them punishment and say, you see this particular book, I want you to read in 2 hours. I want you to read half of this book. It's a punishment, but you might not know it's actually a punishment. He said, see this story. I want you to read half of it. And when you're done reading it, get back to me and explain in details what this book is talking about. Okay? These are also ways to, discipline a child, and in that way you're also helping your child to learn to read, learn to retain what he or she is reading, and also learn to explain what the book is all about. Okay, that is when I say consider options in terms of discipline. Okay, so think of different ways to handle the situations that arise when you are disciplining your children. Think of other options. Okay, it mustn't be just scolding. It mustn't be scolding the only best way you can go about disciplining your child. Other things, there are chores to do. There are, the child can babysit. Okay, like I use reading as an instance, is a perfect example of another option for you to help you discipline your child the best and the appropriate way. All right. The number 4 step to effective decision making is evaluate consequences. You can ask, like, what will happen if I choose this? If I want my child, if I decide to spank my child because he or she did the wrong thing or the bad thing, what could be the effects? Will, at the end of the day, will my child, will it help my child to stop acting the way he or she acts? Or will it distance my child away from me? Okay, these are the things you should consider before making decisions. Okay, you try to evaluate the consequences of your actions as a parent that you want to take. Okay, so the number 5 effective key step to effective decision making is make the decision. Okay, so when you're making decision, choose what benefits your child the most. Don't just decide and at the end of the day it's favoring another person rather than your child. Okay, let's assume that someone is saying, what can I use as an instance for you? Okay, let's assume that someone said, would you rather choose a vacation for your child, or will you rather take a vacation? It could be a tour to some arts, let's say art gallery, or would you rather buy, let's say, PS5, a game, or this PS5 game? The best thing you can do is choose what will benefit your child, and before you do that, try to know what your child wants. Try to understand what your child likes. Okay, no, because you might choose, let's say between you and your spouse, you might decide, oh, my son told me that he wants me to buy a PS5 for him, or probably for her, and at the same time the child wants to go on a vacation. All you need to do is pick one out of that two, the one you know that the child will like the most. Better still, go and ask the child which he or she would prefer. Okay, that way you'll be able to make the best decision that will favor your child the most. Okay, so that is basically what decision making entails. And the number 6 is follow through. Okay, be firm and consistent with your decisions. When you have promised your child something, please try to fulfill it. Okay, try to keep to your promise. And also, when you are saying, when you're setting rules at home, try to also abide by the rules. Don't say they are just for the kids, and at the end of the day, you as a parent will also not be able to keep to those little rules that you set for your little ones. Okay, it could be always clean up once you're done eating, always arrange your bed once you are up in the morning, try to, when you wake up, try to arrange and dress your bed. But you, whenever the children are in your own room, your room is literally, your bed is literally scattered. You get. So while you are parenting, try to adjust. I know it might not be easy. It's not going to be a lot more easy for you, but try in so many ways to adjust, so that even when they enter your own room, they'll also see, oh, mom also did arrange her bed, things like that. All right. Okay, so those are the key effective decision making. So now let's dive to the common parenting decisions that require skills. There are a lot of things, or let's say there are a lot of situations that can arise at home, or probably in our decision making in our parenting life, that requires a whole lot of smartness, that requires skill. When I mean skill, means you thinking, it requires you thinking outside the box. Okay. One of the common parenting decisions that require skills, one is discipline and punishment. Two is in terms of their education. Discipline and punishment are, like I told you, when your children, maybe when they go contrary to what you are teaching them, and it requires you to discipline them, think, how else can I discipline my child, and at the end of the day it will help my child to become a better person. I taught you earlier too, you can use a book. If it's your child that feels very lousy to read, go and bring a book, a story book. Tell the child, I want you to read from the first page to the middle of this book, and I want you to read it within 3 hours, and in 3 hours I'm coming to your room, and I want you to explain in details what this book is all about. Okay, I want you to explain in details what this book is all about. That way you are teaching your child to read, and also you're teaching your child that it's good to retain. You're helping your child retain what he or she is reading from this book, and also you're also teaching your child how to tell a story, or how to narrate a story. Okay, so that's basically what it is. Another common parenting decision that requires skill, remember I said that requires you as a parent to think outside the box, the best and possible way to go about parenting. All right, your gentle parenting is in terms of education choices. Let me tell you, these days, remember I said education choice, that's number 2. These days, for you as a parent to send your child to school, it requires a whole lot of thinking. You have to think about it, you have to think things through, you have to make your research, you have to pray over it, you have to pray for the school, you have to pray for the teachers your children are going to meet, that are going to tutor your children. You are going to pray for the friends, the children, your children, the classmates, the people your children are going to meet, the people your children is going to meet there in school. You have to pray for a lot of things. So it requires a whole lot of decision making. Okay, it requires you to think outside the box, so that you know the best school to put your child. And at the end of the day, if you are saying you are paying a particular amount of tuition fee, it won't be in vain. You won't waste your money. Your child will go, and your child will come out with flying colors. All right. So the number 3 common parenting decision that requires skills is screen time limits. Remember I told you in one of my last video that of a truth, it's good for you to hand them tablets and phones, but there's time for everything. Okay, you have to limit some things. especially when school has resumed. Yes, 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 I thought that about during resumption. Check one of my videos. There's a particular video of mine that has resumption as a caption. Okay, that was where I thought about this. Okay, once school resumes, you have to limit screen time for your children. Okay, so that it will help them when they are during weekends, as long as their school is still in section during weekends. Okay, engage them in outdoor activities. Let them go and play tennis. Okay, let them go and play football. Let them go and draw things. Like involve them with any finger activity they will have to do, more especially the outdoor kind of activities. Okay, because that is the particular ones. It's really going to be helping them a whole lot now that school has resumed. Okay, so that is one of the best ways, or will I say one of the best times, to limit screen time for your children. So another common parenting decision that requires skills is friendship and social life. Yes, it requires skills. You as a parent, you have to pay attention to your children's friends. Be mindful of the people you engage. Even you as a parent, be mindful of the people you introduce to your children as your friends. Okay, because there could be a time they will have to come across those people without you being there. So one or two things might transpire. Okay, so if you happen to have around you bad friends, okay, in your circle of friends you have bad friends, definitely your children's life are also in danger. Okay, because sometimes when they are targeting you, they are not able to get you. They will come for your children. They will go through your children. Okay, they will harm you through your children. Okay, so be very much careful of your circle of friends. It's important, and these are the things you should consider. And when your children are introducing their friends to you, also be mindful. Try to find out where that friend of theirs, who their parents is, trying to find out their family background of that your child's friend. Okay, so this is a two-way thing. You have to be careful of your own friends, the friends you bring at home, the friends that you introduce to your children as your friends, and also try to also monitor your children's friends. Like, try to know the kind of friends your children are keeping. That's majorly what I'm trying to say. Okay, all right. So another common parenting decision that requires skill is health and nutrition. Okay, in this health and nutrition, I know most parents these days, especially this snacky Gen Z, we are Gen Z generation we are in. Every children, they love to snack. Like, they love to eat more of snacks than normal food. Okay, especially dairy foods. So you have to help your children to eat enough balanced diet, and also teach them the importance of balanced diet. Let them understand, and also, if possible, draft out a family food menu chart. And from time to time, as a good parent that you are, you often need to change it often, because there's something about children's brain. Because they are growing, things that they see, it sticks with them. Things that they test also stick with them. Okay, so when you have a particular chart that from Monday to Saturday, they already know what they are going to eat. But with time, let's say after 2 months, or probably after a month, just change it every month. It's possible. Is the best way. Just change that chart every month, because when your child still come and say, oh, tomorrow we are eating beans. Oh, I don't want to eat beans. Before you know it, your child will start losing appetite. Okay, but if you change it at the end of the month, before you know it, the child will come, it's not beans that we are going to eat tomorrow. We are going to be having more. We are going to be having bread, bean cake. It's also the same protein, but another, delicacy of that same protein. Okay, so change it and let it be appetizing enough for your children. Okay, that way you're teaching them how to eat healthy, and also how to set a good healthy nutrition diet at home. Okay, so that's basically what it is. So another common parenting decision that requires skill is setting boundaries. I know, I know. This, you see, the setting boundaries. This particular one is the most. In fact, all of them are important, but this one you need to pay attention. Do you know that currently a lot of mothers and fathers out there, they no longer know what to set boundary, when to set boundary. They don't even know the particular things that they need to set boundaries for their children. Okay, now let me tell you this. For a parent, you need to set boundary when it comes to your phone, your private things. Let your children understand that there are some things, some items that are privately used by just one person. Let them understand what privacy means, and let them teach them how to respect it. Okay, and also you teach them about phones, and teach them, set boundaries, and tell them, you see, when adult is pressing his or her phone, don't go looking into that phone, into that person's phone. It's bad manners and it's bad habits. That's what I taught my son. I told them that, my son and my daughter, I told them that it's bad manners and it's bad habits. Okay, don't go looking inside their phone. It's their private property. Don't go looking into it. It's a very bad manner. It's off limits. And also teach your children. Okay, there are some places, let's say, if you happen to be living in a public compound, okay, and you know that if your child to stay in this area, you can be able to be seeing your child playing around. But once your child is playing off outside that particular place that you can be able to see, you're no longer going to see that child again. So teach your children that when they are playing in the compound, please don't play towards this side, don't play towards this side. Okay, this place is this side, they are off limits. Okay, that way you're setting boundaries, you're teaching them boundaries. This is, if you want to play around this area, so that I can be able to see you, so that if you injure, I can come immediately and take care of you. So that if you're playing, if anything wants to, so that mommy can be able to look after you very well. All right, so these are the things you need to teach your children. Okay, and also you set boundaries when a lot of things that a parent need to set boundaries. Okay, so that's why I used phone as an instance, because if you're pressing phone, if there is any child around you, especially all these their reels and shorts, children will always be attracted to, through the sound, to know what you're doing. But teach them is actually not good for you to look inside someone else's phone. Okay, that's also setting boundaries, okay, for your children. Okay, and okay, teach them, don't insult your elders, don't tell lies. Those things are boundaries. Okay, teach them, set rules for them. Okay, and here are mistakes parents should avoid. 1, making decisions out of anger. 2, being too strict or too lenient. 3, comparing children with others. 4, ignoring their child's feelings. And 5, consistency in rules. In my next video, I'm going to explain all of these things, but I want you to have this at the back of your mind. Okay, parenting is not about being perfect. It's about making thoughtful and informed, let's say, a well-loving decision. When parents develop strong decision-making skills, they are not only raising better children, but also they are building stronger families. Okay, remember, every decision you make today shapes your child's tomorrow. So don't joke with it. Bye.